Let me start my session. This knowledge session that is based on the Azure Traffic Manager. But first, I will introduce myself. So I am Rohit Sharma. I am working as a tech lead in the DevOps competency. So I am working on most of the stuff related to the Azure as well as some kind of projects that it deal with AWS as well. This kind of topic that I was start that is for the Azure Traffic Manager, and it is totally based on the how it will be worked as a web based. Like suppose a client is come to us and client is saying like I want a web application to be smooth, to be faster. So what the thing like coming to Azure Traffic Manager in between that Azure. So I will start that and I will tell you about what are the benefits, how it will be used, what are the routing protocols that we use for the traffic managers, and how it will be alternatives that we can use instead of the Azure Traffic Manager, and how it will be established and how it will be created in the portal. So let's start. And let me, in the beginning, I will start it. So before starting the session, let me share that NashKnolX etiquettes. So always remember that first thing is punctuality. So session will be start within 5 minutes. So I will always suggest to the people join in the session before 5 minutes. That will be a good way. So we will start on time and conclude on the time. And the feedback. So once the session will be completed, I will suggest like submit a constructive feedback so that it will be helpful for us as well as for the people as well. Silent, so it will be important in the like in the sessions. I will be suggest like mute yourself or better to be like silent your mobiles, so that will be good interactive to one another's with the session. And last but not the least, for the avoid disturbance, so this will be important like instead of the chit chat, better to be we should discuss after that sessions about discussion and whatever. So let me start the session. So agenda, so that I have already tell you that I will start with the introduction of Azure Traffic Managers and how what will be the way of the architecture diagram based on the Azure Traffic Manager, and what are the features that we have to use for the traffic manager, and what are the best practices and consideration, how it will be useful in our day-to-day life in the Azure Traffic Manager, as well as based on the developers, like the users are using for the web services and how they are attached within the VMs. That will be quite good. What are the pros and cons for that at Azure Traffic Manager? Like there will be definitely a pros as well as a cons. So we'll really focus on this Azure Traffic Manager as well, and also the use case, like whatever the in our field, like how in our organization, what will be the impact if we are not going for the Azure Traffic Manager, and if we use that Azure Traffic Managers, how it will be important in between that use case. And alternatives, so what are the alternatives that we use for the Azure Traffic Manager. And eighth one, like that will be the Q&A, whatever the things I will teach you in the theoretical way, I will ask you about what will be the answers in between that. And last but not the least, the demo. So let's start with the introduction to Azure Traffic Manager. So Azure Traffic Manager is a Microsoft Azure DNS-based traffic load balancer. But first, go for this DNS-based traffic load balancer. We focus on the what is Azure Traffic Manager. As the word implies, like Azure Traffic Manager means it will be manage your traffic within the endpoints. So how it will be deal? Like suppose one of the user currently in US and he want to access one kind of application like XYZ application he want to access from the US, and that application is hosted in India. So how it will be reachable? Because the customers or the client will ask us like, I need that application to be smooth and I need to accessible very quickly and fast. So for that one, we use this traffic manager for distribute our traffic. So you can say distribute our endpoints. So in between, like it will be depend on the geography. Like currently, you are in US, you are in India, you are in Europe. It will be depend on you. But where you can access that kind of applications that are accessible, you have to be fix the endpoints. First, you have to select the endpoints, and always remember, whenever geography will be set up, definitely there will be a servers will be established in between that applications as well for access. Like going for the faster way, like I want to access the application within 4 to 5 seconds. So that thing come in the picture for Azure Traffic Manager. So it is saying that Azure Traffic Manager is a Microsoft Azure DNS-based traffic load balancer. So there is in the market, like currently there is a lot of load balancers that are used in between the market. Like currently we are using an app gateway as well. That's application gateway, that is for the Azure front door as well for a traffic load balancer purpose. Because we are working on a multi-region support for the load balancers, so this is quite important. But this Azure Traffic Manager is based on the DNS base. Means whatever the traffic manager you are set up in between that, and you are taking the endpoint in between them, you have to use that in between that DNS name. Instead of the IP, you have to put the DNS name in between them. So that's why it is saying Azure Traffic Manager is a Microsoft Azure DNS based traffic load balancer. And already I told you about that this Azure Traffic Manager is helpful for distribute user traffic across multiple services and endpoints. So it is also helpful for provide the low latency as well as the routing. So in that Azure Traffic Manager, we are using some kind of routing protocols. There are 5 to 6 protocols that we are following to the routing. It depend on which thing you want to go. Either you are going for the priority base, either you are going for the performance base or the web application, either you are going for the waited, or either you are going for the subnet levels. So it will be depend on you what kind of procedure, what are the things that you need to be go for your to application improve all that things. And also it will provide that already I told you that it is a distribution for the traffic. So already this will be a provide a multi-region support as well. Multi-region support means it will be provide you a high availability. It will improve your performance as well as your global reach. So this is the way, like this is we can call as Azure Traffic Manager. So it is a DNS base that you have already checked, and this is also high availability, performance, and global reach. So this is the way we can call it as introduction to Azure Traffic Manager. So architecture diagram. So this is a Azure Traffic Manager. So always remember in the portal there will be a traffic manager profile that we need to be created, and this is gonna DNS based. So always remember whenever you create a traffic manager profile in between the portal, so you have to create that thing, and in between you have to select a routing, and in between them whatever the thing that you are attached, either you are using a web apps, web applications, either you are using a virtual machines, or either you are using any kind of services in between them, you have to use a DNS name in between that as our traffic manager. I will show you that how it will be used in between them within the routing methods. So see, this is the Azure Traffic Manager that is used, and these are the geography that currently one is in Asia, one is Europe, and one is the US. So how it will be distribute the traffic in between them. So whatever the in Azure Traffic Manager, whatever the nearest endpoint will be in between that Azure Traffic Manager, so it will be pick that endpoint. Like either you are in the Asia, so it will be going for is the endpoint of the Asia within the app services and the VMs. Same way, if the Europe, that will be the nearest endpoint, it will be taken from the Europe and nearby regions, whatever the regions geography you are picked. And from the US, whatever whatever the endpoints like North Virginia, any kind of thing that it is used in US, either East US or West US, it will be directly picked within the Azure Traffic Manager. So basically, this Azure Traffic Manager have to create some kind of endpoints will be geography in based, and it will be taking that depend on the availability and high availabilities and all that stuff. So this is the architecture diagram that we are following for the Azure Traffic Manager. Now the architecture that is user Asia. So see, it is saying that request and come Azure Traffic Manager to determine the best endpoint. So that I was already told you that it will be picked that it will first determine the best endpoint. So it will pick the best endpoint according to the requirement, according to the availability. As already we told discussed this, like Azure as a global DNS load balancer, we already seen that this will be a part of the DNS load balancer, means we can use a DNS name in between them. So routing method. So always remember whenever you set up our routing methods, there are 4 to 5 routing methods that we are using. One is priority. So priority will be like in which endpoint or which geography you want to go first. So suppose you thought like in US currently there is a one server that is nearby web application is hosted. So you will take it as a priority in the US side. So it will take as a priority US, and your application will be smoother and the faster. Performance. So always remember, it will be depend on the persons, like for the DR and HA availability. Mostly performance is used in our organizations as well as mostly in the companies. Nowadays they are majorly focused on this priority and the performance. So it will check like the performance, whether it will be East US or West US, and that kind of things, that will be a DR or HA. It will be depend on that performance weighted. So always remember, the weighted value for Azure Traffic Manager will be 1 to 1000. So whatever the priority you will giving to that weighted to the Azure Traffic Manager, suppose I am giving the 100 to US or 200 to like Europe. So it will be pick the highest priority, that will be 200 for the Europe. So weighted we can do. And the geographic, so which geographic you want to access, like either you are going for the US, either you are going for the Asia, either you are going for Europe. So it will, you can select the geographic in between that Azure Traffic Manager as well. So this is the way, the routing method we can use in between that Azure Traffic Manager. Also, as it is quite important in the traffic manager, it will also perform the health checks as well for the endpoint, for ensure that all the things, like whatever the web application you are using, and all the things and the endpoints will be healthy. So that's why it is perform health checks as well, and also return the optimal endpoint DNS to the client. So it will provide you an optimal endpoint within the client, like whatever the, as per the client suggestion, as per the client requirement, you want that application to be smoother and faster. So that thing Azure Traffic Manager will be provided within these activities, like for routing and health checks. And also see endpoints, like I already told you, these are the East, US, Europe, Asia. It will be represent like Azure services. So services like app services, virtual machine, or cloud services. As I have already in the demo, I have created two virtual machines, and I have created one traffic manager in between. I will show you that how this virtual machines I have created, and how this virtual machine DNS IP is attached within that traffic manager profile. And also it will be used for our endpoints, like it will be an external or on-prem. So it will be also include that endpoints in between that on-prems as well as for the external. So now the client, so client will be directly connect to the endpoint, not a traffic manager. So always remember, it will be directly connect within the endpoints. It will not directly connect to the traffic manager. Always remember, whenever created your traffic manager profiles have to create a endpoint. So that endpoint you will select within that VMs or app services. So but once you will select any kind of VM's DNS name, so it will be picked accordingly within the endpoint. So always remember, and never thought about that this will be, you have to connect directly to traffic manager. No, you have to directly connect to the endpoint. So see, and the flow, user required application. So DNS resolution that are already provided. It will provide a best endpoint and the DNS record return. So this will already, we discussed this. And key benefits. So key benefits, like it is ensure low latency, high availability, and geo routing for users worldwide. Now features. So features for Azure Traffic Manager. So we have already seen this is a DNS-based global load balancing. So it will be intelligently work within the DNS level. High availability. So it will be 100%, like it will be highly available. So it will be depend on the healthy endpoints. So it will automatically pick within the endpoints within through the Azure Traffic Manager, and will provide you a high availability. Multiple routing methods that I have already discussed you. There is a priority, there is a weighted, there is a performance, there is a geographic, subnet, and multi-value. Previously, we discussed this priority, weighted, performance, geographic, subnet, and multi-value. So multi-value will also be a part of, you can say, that what kind of endpoint it is healthy currently. So you can pick according to yourself, but in organization level, there will be three things are connected. One is priority, one is weighted, and one is performance. Mostly people are working on these three things because they want the performance, our application to be faster. They want the priority, like in which priority, like which region or which geography we have to pick, and the weighted, like what weight means, whatever the value I have set it, it will be picked according to the priority. and performance optimization. So it will be quite good for the optimize over performance as well for the low latency as well as the nearest endpoint. That already this thing we have already discussed. And geographic, so geographic routing. So this is a geographic location. As geographic means it will be a US, it will be a Canada, it will be Asia, that kind of things that will be coming. So US, Australia, Canada, or either India. So it will be it depend on the geographic routing. So hybrid support. So it will be balanced traffic in between that Azure as well, on-premise as well as for the external endpoints as well. So it will be also provided a hybrid support. Like if you are working on Azure and you want to do it for the AWS or GCP, that kind of stuff is also worked on in between that Azure Traffic Manager. Nested profile, you can say like first go for the nested profile before. So health monitoring, so it will be helpful for provider HTTP and TCP, ensure like health endpoints will be available in between them. And nested, so it will be combined nested in between that Azure Traffic Manager. You can use that one multiple routing measures for complex scenarios, like suppose you are working in between and you want to do that web application need to be independent on the priority and the performance. So it will be also provided a nested profile, means it will be a mixture to provide you a multiple routing methods to provide that traffic manager as well. Seamless maintenance, like it will be traffic during updates, so without downtime. So these kind of activities will also do with the teams as well for the traffic managers, and majorly like they will work on a Saturday, Sundays, mostly on the weekends. So it will be never taught you that our sites will be impacted or our websites or web applications will be impacted from that. That will be not be way, because traffic manager works as an intelligent ways, like it will be handle all that things within our work. Scalable and flexible, like already this is part like we can scale up and we can flex it, that kind of things within the enterprise solution. Whatever the requirement, you can increase it or you can decrease according to your requirement, well, like you can scale it or scale out within that. And traffic analytics, so this will be, it will be also monitor your traffic endpoints as well for user distribution and user traffic. So this is important. And last but not least, this integration ready. So it will be combined. You can use this as well in the Azure front door application gateway or CDN as well. And you can use this Route 53 as well. Mostly people are work on Route 53 as well, and they are aware about how this will be approaching between that DNS base. So you can work on integration within that as well with Azure Traffic Managers. Best practices and consideration. So it will be choose TTL, like time to live. It will be taken faster failover as well as DNS query. So it will be faster failover and all that. And also it will be reduced DNS load. So whatever the load will be coming in between DNS, it will be slightly slower failover that. A health pro, it will be already mentioned that health probe design will be implemented in between them. So ensure probes checkout like health will be 200 okay. So this will already that use multiple probes and routing methods. So these are the routing methods that we have followed. So this is the priority, this is the performance, this is weighted, and this is geography. So these are the things that we can use for the routing method selection. And I have already told you about the priority, performance, and weighted, and geography as well. Nested, already we have seen that nested will be a mixture of these the three routing or four routing method selections. And combined, you can say performance per priority for complex routing scenarios. So this will be helpful for provide a static 200 OK page home page. So this kind of things will be established in between that traffic manager and monitoring. So it will be helpful for visualize your user distributions as well as optimize performance as well. Means it will in Azure Traffic Manager, it will be totally like it will be check your traffic, whatever the traffic will be incoming and outgoing within the user distribution and optimize that performance as well. And we can in Azure currently we are using in the Azure Traffic Manager as Azure Monitor. So this will be kind of activity, whatever the health checks, whatever the health is currently in the web applications, what are the services you are using in between that, it will be monitoring each and everything, including the Azure Traffic Manager endpoints. So pros and cons. So pros will be, so it is already used DNS based load balancing. It it's quite good, like whenever we use a load balancer in between them, and it will provide a DNS name. Instead of the IPs, we can focus on the DNS name. So it will be quite easy to understand, like this DNS name we have picked for the each of the geography or each of the regions that need to be set up for the traffic manager. High availability, we already see that it will provide you 100% highly available. Whatever the issue will be come across, it will be redirect to the another endpoints. Multiple routing methods, we already see that, like priority weighted, performance, geography, subnet, and multi-value. Improved performance, so it will be helpful for improved our user experience as well. Like users want to do, user don't want to impact any kind of latency, whatever the things he's using for the web application. So it will be helpful for improve their performance as well. And also hybrid support, we already seen that it will be mixture of on-premises or external endpoints as well. Scalable and reliable, so it will be also important for the scalable things, like it will be scale up and scale down according to the requirement. Cost effective, so already we've seen that compared to deploying multiple hardware. So for the load balancer, instead of creating this Azure front door, Azure application gateway, and also for this route 53, better to be that you have to only use only that traffic managers and the endpoints, that's it. And you have to select the multiple routing methods. That are the things, it's quite cost effective as compared to do the larger things like for the front doors and the app gateways. So it will not impact on any kind of application data bus. So it will only resolve the DNS. So always remember, it will never impact any kind of applications. That sometimes you thought like, so if we not set up any kind of resolvers in between the DNS, will it be impact? So it will not be impacted. It will depend on the domain levels. So it will be automatically within the domains for that. Easy integration. So you can integrate that Azure Traffic Manager with the front door, app gateway, and CDNs as well. And traffic analysis. So traffic view, it will be provided user distribution and the traffic flow. So within that, it will be provide a view of the user distributions in the traffic flow. Cons. So as I already told you that if there will be a pros, and definitely there will be cons for some kind of certainties for the applications as well as for the services. So see DNS level. So we can do DNS level only, but we cannot do setup of SSL termination, caching, and VF and WAF. So this kind of setup we are doing for the front doors, Azure front door and application gateway. Like whenever we set up any kind of front door, any kind of application gateway, so in between we are set up a web application firewall as well. So we can say this is WAF, and also we will set up a SSL termination as well as the caching. This kind of stuff we can do it in front door and app gateway, but we are not doing for the traffic manager, because traffic manager only depend on the DNS levels, only provide you the endpoints. It will never give you that you want to do some kind of SSL terminations, you want to do for the caching, or you want to do some kind of IP that need to be whitelisted in between that WAF for the some kind of application gateway or front door. DNS TTL. So as DNS means it will be failover. Failover depend on the cache. So whatever the cache will be depend, and it will be a shorter TTL will be increase the cost. So this will be the delay, like this will be the cons for the Azure Traffic Manager, and not a proxy server service. So it will not provide you any kind of proxies in between them. It will only accelerate, does not accelerate or compress traffic according to the requirement. Limited real-time control. So as already we discussed this, like if you change in any DNS solution, it is not due to propagation. So this thing we are doing for the front door and the app gateways. Health probe dependency. So it will be probes carefully to avoid false positive changes. So this will also know. So it will be not smart like a layer 7 intelligence like we are used for app gateways and front door. It will be only depend on the, you can say, like routing based on only the URLs. So whatever the services you are using, like for the VMs, web apps, and whatever the DNS you have set up in between them, it will depend on the URLs. Additional cost. So for the DNS query and health checks, so it is quite costly as for the adding the DNS queries and the endpoints. So whatever endpoints you are creating in between the traffic profiles, it will be a costly. Like currently, there will be a lot of geographies that need to be set up. So in that way, it is quite costly as compared to that other things like if you say Route 53 or App Gateway and also the front doors. So this is the pros and cons for Azure Traffic Manager. So use case. So like currently, if I am saying that one of the person or one of the client is using our application, so what will be the challenges comes and what will be the scenarios and how can it will be give the solution. So suppose currently one of the organization hosts a web application in multiple Azure regions. So see, that is hosted in a web application in multi regions like East US, West US, West Europe and Southeast Asia to server means the web application is hosted in multiple Azure regions. So how what will be the challenge will come to? So users in the different part of the world, the high latency. Obviously, like if a person is sitting on the East US or person is sitting on the West Europe or person is in East Asia, and if we not set any kind of solutions like the performance, the priority, the weighted and subnet, that kind of thing, or geography we might set up. So it will definitely provide you high latency. Like currently, application is hosted in India and having a server as well for the endpoint. Now the US person want to access that application, definitely there will be high latency produced. But within the help of that traffic manager, that will be sorted as well. Now see, if one region goes down, the application must remain available. So that's the one challenge that need to be focused. Like suppose we have set up DR, disaster recovery, and high availability in between them. So suppose if one region got down, so definitely our requirement will be we have to be provide a secondary one. Secondary will be highly available. So that thing we have to focus and we have to be achieved. That challenge will become in between them when application is hosted in between the multiple regions. So organization are cost effective and performance optimization, that is quite good. Like always remember, organization also remember a cost effect. Cost optimization is must in any kind of certain things that they set up in their environment. Either it is in the prod, pre-prod, or you can say UAT or any kind of them. So it will be impact like they have to be focused on the cost effect and performance. Now, these are the things that will coming without Azure Traffic Manager. But when we use a traffic manager, so how it will be possible? Like see, configure a traffic manager profile with endpoints in all three regions. So for these three regions, simply you just go for the traffic manager profile and create a endpoints in that regions. You can take whatever the applications are running in between that and the services that application is hosted, whether it will be a web services or whether it will be a VMs. So simply it will take a DNS name and you can add that DNS name on the endpoints and edit that routing methods according to the requirement. So that it will be easily configured a profile within that specific multi-regions, like three regions. So instead of going for high latency and all that, it will be sort out your high latency issue. So use performance routing. Now you want to know like a web application and you want that application to be performance will be like 100% and there will be no latency. So you can set up your routing, that performance routing for that one, for the traffic manager, so that it will be easily for the nearest and lowest latency region. So whatever the region will be predict, it will be taken with the performance. So enable health probe so that see, this will also provide a health probes as well. So whenever you set up any kind of traffic manager profile and the endpoints, it will be automatically enable your health probes as well. So it will be easily that traffic will be redirect to one of the region from, like suppose a one will be down, it will be redirect to the another geography. So that will be important. And also it will be helpful for disaster recovery. That I was tell you that suppose currently there is a geography in East US and one is from West US as well, and we want to establish a DR in between them. So that thing will be provide you a delivery seamless, like whatever the things you can do it, you can set up and you can do whatever the things will be coming on the web application, and it will be easily available and high things will be coming in that way. So benefits. So always remember benefits will be in between there, it will be provide user experience. Already we see these things a lot, like it will improve your user experience, like whatever the client will access their application, it will be highly available and it will not provide any kind of latency. High availability, scalability, hybrid support, and compliance flexibility. So these are the things we already discussed and we already see in the traffic manager. Now, alternatives. So front door, as I already told you, application gateway and load balancer. So front door will be global layer 7. So it will be a application layer load balancer. So it will be work on a layer 7. Okay, and it will provide you that kind of stuff that I was telling you in the cons of the Azure Traffic Manager. So same way, it will provide you SSL termination, and also it will provide you a WAF as well for URL based routing and the caching as well. It will provide you a real-time failover and global application. So it will be helpful for global web applications as well. So this will you can use, and same way you can use for the front application gateway as well. So it will also provide you the same way that for the routing and SSL offloading and WAF as well. And also you can integrate that thing with the AK as well by ingress controllers as well. So simply you will go for the app gateway and you have to set up backend pools in between that, and you can set up all of the things in between that health points within the app gateway. And the load balancer, so you can use the load balancer for distributed and inbound and outbound, and also use for VMs and network level, and it will be work as regionally. So these are the alternatives you can use for our Azure Traffic Managers alternatives, that is front door, app gateway, and load balancer. So let it be Q&A. So this one is coming. So we will start that the Q&A. So can someone tell me that at which layer does Azure Traffic Manager operate? Now it's a team. You can tell it. Anyone? Is it layer 4, layer 7, or DNS level?
It's a DNS level.
Yeah, correct. As we already seen that Azure Traffic Manager always operate in a DNS level. So it will be always provide a DNS level load balancer. Good. So which of the following is not a route method support by Azure Traffic Manager? Either it will be a priority, weighted, performance, or route robin. Which one? Can someone tell me?
Round robin. D.
Round robin.
Yes, round robin. Because we see that priority, weighted, and performance. These three things we are using for the routing methods for our Azure Traffic Manager. So what is the main limitation of Azure Traffic Manager compared to Azure Front Door? So either cannot do SSL, cannot routing, or cannot do health checks, or cannot support hybrid.
A. I think A. Cannot do SSL termination.
Yes. Because as for the Azure Front Door, it will provide you SSL termination and as well as cache and the WAF. But Azure Traffic Manager does not provide that SSL termination. So that's the way, like it will not provide you a SSL termination. Okay. So which scenario fits for this priority, directing, disaster recovery, distributing, or local? Which one?
Disaster recovery primary,
Correct.
secondary.
Correct. So it will be the priority that we will set up that routing. So when you set up that priority routing, so it will be dependent on the disaster recovery, primary, secondary, failover. We have seen this a lot. How does Traffic Manager detect endpoint health? So this one.
See regular health report.
DNS cache checks.
Yes, correct. So this will be no, this will not DNS cache check.
It's C.
Yes, see, because I have told you Azure Traffic Manager provide you a regular health checks as well for the profs, your HTTP and TCP. So this is the way like Azure Traffic Manager will work and all that. And now let's come to the demo. So currently, so this is my Azure portal where I have set up 2 virtual machines. So this is VM India and this is VM US. So VMs, I have set up all of the things like whatever the resource group I will take, whatever the primary NIC, public IP, and whatever the subscriptions. So this thing I have already set up, and in between them I have already, and this will pick your virtual network and the subnet as well. Always remember, whenever you set up virtual machine, you have to use a virtual network and subnet as well, and it will provide you a public IP as well. As currently I set up that public IP, you can do it from the private as well, and you can connect it within the bastion if somehow you want to do. And one more important thing, I told you that whatever the services you have to use, you have to use a DNS name. So you can see this DNS name I have picked. So always remember, whenever you create any kind of VMs, you have to create this DNS name as well. And the same way, if you go for the VM US, like I have created a resource group, I have created this public IP, I have created a virtual network subnet as well, and I have created this DNS name. So this DNS name is important. Always remember, whenever you create a traffic manager, you have to create this DNS name as well. Okay, so I currently we don't have time. We have a less time, like for connected that thing, and we have to set up a IIS server, because I have used this Windows server, and in between that we have to set up IIS and some kind of HTML page we need to establish. I will go through directly that how this traffic manager will work in between that VMs. So I will go for this traffic manager. So just search about traffic. So it will come in that traffic manager profiles. So when you go for this create, so it will be ask me my Azure subscription, the resource group, and you will give the name as well. And see, this is the step that I was telling you, the routing method. So these are the methods you can do it according to your requirements. So performance, I already told you that if you want to do a good performance in between the web application, you can set it. Weighted, you can give the value in between them. The priority, you can do it. Geography as well, and also multi-value and the subnet. You can do it from your side as well, but in my side, I have set up this as a performance. So if you go for this, and if I click on this profile, and I have set up this. So where you can check, you can go for the endpoints. See, this is the endpoint that I am using. So in between that endpoints, if I select that endpoint, so see, it is giving the type will be Azure endpoint, monitor state degraded. You can do it. You can set up Azure monitor in between that, and you can use it. And enable endpoint. So always remember target resource type. So it will be depend on you which thing you want to do. Currently, I am creating a public IP address because I am set up a VMs. So if you do for the app services, you can select that web apps and app services for that one. And custom, like, see, this is the target resource that I was telling you. So this will come, why? Because I have already enabled my DNS name. So it will be picked either in US or either in India. So this is the way that traffic manager will create. Okay. And if you take that traffic manager, and if you if you try to use that one, so whatever the web service, like what are the web service you are creating, it will be redirect your traffic within that URL. So that's the way you can set up that traffic managers within that VMs, and how it will be provide a routing protocols, that will be the performance way. So it will be give you all of the things in between that. So this is the way you can set up your services, and you can set up your traffic manager profiles, you can set up your routings, and you can set up that endpoints. So this is the demo that is related to our traffic managers as well as the VM services that we need to be established. Yeah. So over to you, Bharti. Am I audible?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
sir.
Yes. So team, whatever the things in your mind, like you want to discuss about the traffic manager, you can reach out to me. So we will discuss further about the traffic managers and the benefits, as well as how it will be set up in between the services. Yeah, that's it from my side. Yeah, thanks.
Right. Thanks, Rohit. Thanks for the wonderful session. Thanks everyone for attending the same. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, bye.